Today, we're going to spend 10 minutes talking about making the most of your summer job. Regardless of where you're going this summer, whether that's a judicial internship, working at a private firm, or working in a public interest agency, you can have a very successful summer. Landing an awesome summer job is a great accomplishment, but it's only half the battle. Today, we're going to cover key tips for succeeding and learning this summer. First, move away from the idea of this position as a summer job. That's misleading. It's not just a summer job. If you put this position in the context of your legal education, think of this as a key opportunity to take what you've learned in the classroom and see how it applies to real life. This may be your first exposure to the practice of law or to a particular practice area. That's a really big deal. This is your chance to see what attorneys actually do. This is also a key milestone in your professional life. It's a chance to begin to develop your professional identity and begin to think of yourself as an attorney. You'll be using this summer to ask yourself key questions about the kind of lawyer you want to be and what kind of setting you see yourself in. Finding an awesome job is only half the battle. You also need to think about what you want to get out of it. Even before your internship starts, clarify your own personal goals at the front end. What do you want to learn this summer? What do you want to do this summer? Do you want to shadow attorneys on the job? Do you want to walk out of the internship with a terrific writing sample? Do you want to observe in court? Be clear about what's on your wish list for this experience. Once you're clear on your summer goals, have a conversation with your supervisor. Establishing clear lines of communication with your supervisor will go a long way towards you having a positive experience. This is not about being pushy or aggressive. You're not walking in demanding to have certain experiences. Instead, it's about articulating what you're interested in. Chances are your supervisor will appreciate your interest and enthusiasm and will want to know what kinds of assignments and experiences to channel your way. It's also helpful to do your research before you arrive on the job. Talk to upperclassmen who have interned there. See if you can glean information about office personalities and culture before you arrive. Understand how your particular organization fits into the community, or if it's a government agency, how it fits into the government structure as a whole. Find out about relevant cases, news, the board of directors. Not only will this help make you feel informed and more confident on the job, but it will also put your summer position into a larger context. Now that you've started the job, hit the ground running during your first week. First, be observant about the office culture. Be yourself, but also adjust. If this is a very quiet office where everyone's doors are closed, it's probably not a good idea for you to have a loud conversation down the hallway or play loud music at your desk. If this is the kind of place where people eat lunch together every day, try to join them instead of eating by yourself. Be flexible. Don't be too alarmed if you arrive and they don't have a desk set up for you, or if they don't give you a permanent workspace. Don't let that detract from your overall experience. Be a good sport about it. Having a good attitude about less than ideal work conditions will go a long way towards making a good impression. Take responsibility for your role. If you're going to be out of the office or late, communicate clearly with your supervisor. If you're sitting at your desk with nothing to do, it's on you to solicit work. On the flip side, if you have too much responsibility to reasonably accomplish, it's on you to talk to your employer about how you should be prioritizing. Also, take an active interest in the office. Get involved. If you haven't been introduced, take the initiative and introduce yourself to everyone in the office. Ask them to think of you for assignments. Ask them if you can accompany them to meetings or to court. Attach yourself to someone who's doing good work and can show you the lay of the land. Sometimes this is an office mentor, but not necessarily. Perhaps there's another intern who's worked at the firm the previous summer. He or she may be a go-to person if you have questions about procedures or policies or questions about office personalities. Set the tone your first week by doing good work right from the start. Have a good attitude, show up on time, review your work for mistakes, and demonstrate a strong work ethic. Be professional and take your job seriously. Working during the summer months doesn't mean showing up to work in shorts and flip-flops. But don't assume you have to wear a suit either. Ideally, you want to be proactive and ask about the dress code before you start so there aren't any surprises. A good rule of thumb is to mirror the attorneys in the office, but remember, attorneys on the job have already built up their professional reputation. You, on the other hand, are just starting out, so when in doubt, aim to be a little more conservative in the first few days, at least rather than less so. During the summer, aim to establish a good working relationship with your supervisor. First, you need to be supervised on the job. Attorneys are usually incredibly busy, and not every supervisor knows how to best use or manage interns. While you need to be respectful of your supervisor's time, it's important that you're supervised on the job. As a law student, you're not allowed to practice law on your own. It's on you to be assertive about getting the supervision you need if it's not forthcoming. You want to also get feedback throughout the summer. There shouldn't be any surprises at the end of the summer about how you performed on the job. Throughout the summer, pay attention to how attorneys react to your work product and whether you're given increased responsibility. Try to schedule a structured feedback meeting with your supervisor at a halfway point and at the end of your internship. Don't be afraid to ask questions or admit that you don't know what you're doing. This is a learning experience for you. But be organized about your questions. Be efficient about how you ask them. Use your fellow interns and others in the office for guidance. Getting an assignment on the job isn't quite the same as getting one in school from your professor. You won't always get assignments in a structured way where the attorney has thought it through and framed it perfectly. You might be on a wild goose chase, or an assignment might be incredibly boring. Nevertheless, it's on you to get it done. Here are 9 key tips to make sure you are successful. Always write down the assignment. If you're asked to meet with a supervisor, walk in with a notepad. If your supervisor gives you the assignment on the fly, write it down as soon as possible. You'll want to go back and revisit your notes on the assignment often. It's very easy to lose your way. Suddenly, you'll be following tangents in your research, or you're off course somehow. Keep going back to the original assignment and stay focused on what you've been asked to do. Always restate the assignment aloud to your supervisor on the spot. You want to be clear about what you've heard. Paraphrase it in your own words and repeat it back. It's a little thing, but it goes a long way towards clarifying any initial confusion between you two. You want to make sure you're answering the right question. Try to ask clarifying questions on the spot. For instance, try to troubleshoot quickly in your head. If you were to start this assignment right now, do you have all the information you need to get started? Always have a clear sense of what parameters you're working under. For instance, how much time do you have? What's the deadline? Can you afford to spend 2 weeks on this assignment, or is it due in the next 2 hours? Are you allowed to use Westlaw or Lexis, or are you expected to hit the library books? Is there a tight budget? This may seem obvious to you, but this is a key stumbling block. More miscommunication happens here than anywhere else. Have a clear understanding of your parameters at the front end. You'll save yourself a lot of grief. Be clear about what the final product should look like. It's not helpful for you to draft a 5-page memo if your supervisor just wants a quick talking points as he's walking into a client meeting. If you're citing cases, does your supervisor want you to have hard copies of these cases as well? There's no such thing as a draft. Check your work for typos and correct citations before you hand anything over. If the assignment is incomplete when you're asked to provide it, write a quick note that summarizes what's left to be done on the work. Attorneys are very busy, and following up with them might be intimidating, but you're much better off following up halfway through to ask a question and making sure you're on the right track than completing an assignment incorrectly. Don't wait until the deadline to discover you missed a key issue or that you've been researching the wrong thing. Treat deadlines seriously. Delivering a good work product on time will establish you as having a strong work ethic and being professional. If you need more time, talk to your supervisor early on and explain why, not on the day the assignment is due. Stay organized. You might be juggling multiple assignments for a variety of attorneys. Figure out a system to stay on top of what you've been asked to do. Prioritize your work. When in doubt, ask your supervisor to help you figure out which assignments to prioritize. Have a good attitude. Believe it or not, there's some work you'll be asked to do that isn't glamorous. Some assignments will be tedious and labor intensive. Being enthusiastic and treating each assignment seriously will make a strong impression. Doing good work on the job will go a long way, but that's only part of your summer experience. You also want to use your summer to explore and network. Use your summer to meet as many attorneys as you can. Set up informational meetings and learn about the work they do. See if you can shadow any attorneys. The more people you meet, the more exposure you'll get to different perspectives and aspects of the job. Get to know the attorneys you work with. It might be tempting to only interact with the other interns on the job, but make an effort to interact with the staff. Talk to people and let them know what you're interested in. Tell people what you see yourself doing and ask for referrals to different agencies or contacts. Connect with your career counselor for networking tips and ideas, including how to use LinkedIn and connect to alumni in the area. Throughout the summer, you'll also want to keep some sort of running log to track your assignments and experiences. This is important for a few reasons. First, it will be invaluable when you update your resume. You'll want to refer to your log to remember things from way back in the beginning of the summer. Your tracking system will also come in handy if you ever need to ask your supervisor to serve as a reference. You'll want to provide your supervisor with a list of the projects you completed on the job. Draft a bullet point list of your accomplishments and also think through about what you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy. This is a key time for you to complete a self-assessment and determine your strengths and weaknesses on the job and gauge what kind of setting is right for you in the long term. Ideally, everything will go well and every day will be fantastic, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just not a good fit, or there are challenging circumstances that arise. The Career Center is open all summer. Your career counselor can work closely with you to help turn a bad situation around. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed on the job. Seek assistance before it gets to that point. A mentor can be key in helping you navigate office politics or better communicate with a supervisor. Also, be sure to use this time to enjoy your break from school and enjoy your summer. Keep in touch with your friends and have fun. If you're in a new city, take time to enjoy your new location and be open to new people and experiences. Here are a few of the highlights. Consider this summer as a key step in your professional development. Establish your professional brand and reputation. Network, explore, and reflect this summer. Be clear about your professional goals and accomplish them. And of course, have fun.